Let's talk about saying no. How easy it is for you to say no. Lately, one of my clients entered our session saying, Kasia, I want to learn to say no. Very often, we end up saying yes to things that we don't necessarily feel like doing, experiencing, being a part of, because of fear what other people will think or say about us. That fear makes us say yes more often than we would like to. So how to learn to say no without the excessive feeling of guilt? How to learn to say no gracefully with this light energy? We deserve a graceful no. How can we learn to say no without the need of explaining everything in detail, or building up the stories, or lying about our reasons to justify the no, to diminish the guilty feeling that creeps up? Good news, it is possible. It's a good place to ask ourselves a question when we struggle with saying no. Why other people's opinion about us is so important for us? If we struggle to say no, if we say yes because we are scared that a person will think or say something about us, we ultimately create our world based on what others think about us. But we forget to ask a very important question. What do I think about myself? Where am I in that equation? If we are so worried about what others will think or say about us, that means that we don't feel our own sense of value and worth. That's why it's so important for us what other people will say about us or think about us. Because that way, somehow, I feel more valuable. I feel more worthy if people say good things about me. But that puts a lot of pressure on us. That kills a lot of freedom, our freedom. And that takes a lot of positive energy from us.
It's 13 hours.
Learning to say no. When I speak to my clients, I often give them a very specific example. What actually happens when we say yes to someone, even though we really, really don't want to do that? But we are just feeling too guilty to say no. I remind them of one thing. Every time you say yes to someone, ultimately you say no to yourself, especially if it's not aligned yes, if it's not a yes that comes from your heart, if it's not a yes that comes naturally to you. Every time we say that pushed yes, we say no to ourselves. And the true question is, what do you say no to in terms of yourself? When we start reflecting on it from that perspective, we start noticing how much we hurt ourselves. When we agree to something we don't want to. And by seeing it, how badly we hurt ourselves, it's so much easier to say no to someone else without that feeling of guilt. So remember, every time you say yes to something you don't want to say yes to, ask yourself a question. If I say yes to that, what do I say no to in terms of me, my energy, my time, my freedom, my choices? Saying no becomes much easier. And that exercise helps you also to see whom do you prioritize more, them or you? Other people's needs or your needs? If you catch yourself prioritizing other people's needs more than your own, ask yourself, why do I do that? What am I scared of? Very often I hear from ambitious women whom I work with, highly successful women, that they are worried that they will be described as selfish if they do not prioritize other people's needs, if they put their needs at the top. But if we don't prioritize our own needs, we are not able to serve as fully as we could. So when we look at it from the perspective of service, we need to look after our own needs in order to be able to serve better, deeper. Our needs, looking after our needs, is not an act of being selfish. Looking after our needs is an act of generosity, of compassion, of care. So next time you struggle with saying no to someone, ask yourself, what am I going to lose if I say yes to someone else? What will that cost me? And let that guidance help you say no when you really mean it, without the need of justifying your no, without the need of lying or building stories behind your no. It's time to learn to say no with confidence, gracefully, because that no means also yes, yes to you, to yourself. And you are worth it. You deserve it. Thank you for your time today. If you feel like you would want to explore your beliefs, your patterns deeper, I am here for you. All you have to do is to contact me. You will find the details in the description to this recording. Have a wonderful day, and thank you for being you. See you soon.